this is Fantasy-esque, and welcome back to The Sims 4 Royal Witch Kingdoms. We are picking up with the noble family of Ramodust pretty late Sunday night after the betrothal ceremony of Archrose Ramodust and Valarr Rawen. So, these two teenagers have gotten betrothed. Now let's backtrack a little bit and talk about how we got here. So in the previous episode, you guys will know that Valar's father, Lysander, was, already thinking about arranging a marriage for his son, his heir, and he was looking at one of the Ramodust girls because, they were coming of age pretty soon, so he had his eye on this. He wanted to get in with this family and strengthen Ramong, his words, before anyone else did. Now, obviously, we know when the triplets were born, they were like huge talk across the witch world. So, obviously, getting them as one of the brides to an heir is going to be something that all the witches are kind of on alert for. So, we saw Lord Valen visit also while we were playing with the Rawens, and it seemed as though he was talking about his own heartbreak and the fact that he may be aware his wife was cheating. So there was that going on, but because he is such close friends with Nymeria and Lysander, I imagine that Lysander probably brought up this marriage agreement and Valen was thinking about it. And I would say that Lysander probably made an offer of marriage very soon after we finished playing with them. And then Valen, thought about it. Obviously, Candrica found out. They probably sent a proper letter proposal for one of their daughters, and Valen, he let Candrica go ahead and read that rather than tell her himself. And at the end of the day, whatever Candrica wants, right, whatever plans she has, she's not the High Lady. Valen is the High Lord. So he gets to decide who he's going to arrange his children's marriages with, right? And so, especially I feel if he's found out that Candrica has been cheating on him, I don't think he's going to want to listen to her very much. I feel as though he would take charge of, what he wants rather than listening and going along with Candrica all the time, because that's what he has been doing. But obviously Candrica hasn't been entirely faithful and has become aware of that now. But he had to think about it, and we know that Lysander was hoping Valarr would end up with Daphne, because he has a soft spot for Daphne. But I was taking a look at the Ramodust family, and actually, Lord Valen, he is closer to Archrose than he is with Daphne, and I'm almost wondering if he has more relationship with Meralda or Archrose, but he definitely favors Archrose more than Daphne. And let's just take a look at our ladies really quickly and get an update on them, because now they're teens and they look fabulous and beautiful. So this is Miss Meralda. Look at her. She's got blonde hair like her mother, and she's got the braids kind of going as well that her mother does. But she looks absolutely lovely. And then we have Daphne over here. So there we go. This is Daphne. She's also looking quite nice. And then we have Archrose. Now, already in my mind, kind of going off of their hairstyles a bit as well, I feel like it plays into it. Daphne's kind of grown into a bit of a rebel daughter in the household, in that she will make friends with whoever she feels is right to be friends with. I'm pretty sure she's friends with High Princess Nimue. And she's not one to fall under her mother's plans nearly as much. Whereas we've established this many times, Archrose, I feel, is the most like Candrica, and she is kind of like a mummy's girl. So I think a lot of what she does is in line with Candrica's plans, and in that way, she's a bit more obedient and easier to control. And Daphne is, not that easy to control. So I think Valen obviously before he was really fond of Candrica, so he would be fond of the daughter that is most like Candrica. But I think he appreciates the whole obedient side of Archrose and the fact that she will try to please her parents, particularly her mother. And I suppose like her Nalka and her Kotyan, her father as well. So I think Valen likes that, and that's why he is quite favorable to Archrose. And so in the end, it was his decision which daughter he was going to betroth to Valarr, and he chose Archrose instead of Daphne. He doesn't feel as though Daphne is going to be that amiable, that easy to control with the family of Rawen. So, Archrose is the one that's been arranged. So, Archrose. She went ahead and obviously we saw that Candrica wasn't too happy with this whole thing. Um, with Lord Valen taking charge, I think Candrica is aware that she has to go along with it because he has the final say. In the witch world legally, he's got like the final say. And she wasn't happy that it wasn't a prince or something high like that, because I feel as though Candrica aims high. She would want one of her daughters to marry a prince, but Valen is, not like that. He's friends with the Rawens. He knows they're good people, and he understands Lysander's point that you're going to strengthen Ramong if you can unite the two noble families. So that's what they've done. Now, if you look at their hand, both of the kids now have this silver ring. So they're both wearing this silver ring, and that is kind of like the witch engagement ring, I like to think. So that's the witch, like, betrothal / engagement ring. So they'll have that, and then, like, from this generation onwards, when they get married, that'll change to a gold version of that ring. So, okay, that's what we have going on. Now, this was a little kind of betrothal setup for the ceremony for these guys. And essentially, that is how our betrothal ceremonies are going to go. You have the High Lord / so basically the heads of the two houses, and then you have the two Sims that are getting betrothed, and the heads of the houses basically, go through and say a few words, and then they drink wine. So each kingdom has their own kind of special kind of wine that is used during the betrothal ceremony. Ramong has the kind of goldish wine, and then Sikar is going to have a dark blue wine. Holkane is going to have a red wine, and then the fourth kingdom that I want to introduce in the next generation, that's going to have a purple wine. So there we go. That's what we have. And obviously marriage ceremonies in each kingdom is going to be different, but what I've decided is that the betrothal ceremonies will occur at the residence of the bride / groom that is, not firstborn, so the ones who are second, thirdborn, like that, who are going to be moving out. And then the actual marriage ceremonies will happen either at the residence or in the kingdom of, probably at the residence of the heirs. So we'll have the marriage ceremony for Archrose and Valarr when they're of age, when they become, young adults and such. We'll have that over at the house of Rawen. But the betrothal ceremony takes place here at the house of Ramodust. Now, also, I have gone ahead and installed, oh geez, I've forgotten the person's name, but the arranged marriage mod. I will put a link to that in the video description, so you guys can download that and use it if you want. But this was brought up by one of you lovelies, or even some of you, quite a few episodes back, and I just couldn't use it then because, we didn't have Sims of age to betroth to each other. But now we do. Since the Ramodust girls have aged up. So that's what I've gone ahead and done. And we know that Valen has a good relationship with Lysander, so he did arrange the betrothal, he accepted. So, this family was the one who went ahead and actually did the interactions required to make that betrothal, but I like to think that the House of Rawen sent a letter proposal, like a marriage proposal, and then Valarr went and spoke to Lysander, and he accepted that. So, let's see. If we go to Archrose, you'll see that if you open up Sim profile, she is betrothed to Valarr Rawen. So these Sims are arranged to marry when they reach adulthood. And when they become young adults, that will change to engaged. So they'll be engaged to each other. And another reason why I wanted this mod, I mean, that makes it fun. But another reason I wanted this mod was because I wanted to see what the Sims felt about their partners like being betrothed. And Archrose, she's newly betrothed from new arranged marriage contract. She's actually unsure how to feel about having her future spouse decided for her. She and Valarr aren't that close, but they do know each other. She doesn't particularly dislike him. She doesn't overly like him either. She doesn't know right now. She doesn't know. And I did check what Valarr felt. Valarr was the same. He was unsure. And I think we kind of felt that in the previous episode as well. Valarr was unsure. Like, his father was telling him, you need to think about whether you like Archrose more or you like Daphne more. And he was like, I haven't really thought about that, about either of them. So he ended up having this whole thing decided for him between the two families. Let me know what you guys think about that. We know that he's kind of had feelings for the High Princess, but I feel like he should be aware that nothing's going to happen with that. And at least this way, they can, if they want, develop their relationship going forward, you know? At least that's what's on my mind. Now, in terms of the other two, I think have left at this point. Otherwise, I was going to... is Nymeria? Nymeria's not here. They've both left. Now, with these betrothals, well, this one I kind of did behind the scenes, obviously. The ceremonies will always be in the movies. I'm thinking, where and how I want to show you the next one. I kind of wanted to dive into it really quickly, so I didn't want to like wait any longer and have the whole betrothal happen, like the arrangement between the families any other way. But I also did get the mod so we could go through that in-game and have a mix of movie and in-game, arrangement of the marriages to see how things would go. Now, we have now arranged marriage for Archrose, but we also have Daphne. We also have Daphne that the family's going to be thinking about. Oh, what's going on? We do know that Meralda and Valarr are kind of friends with each other, I think. Well, they're not friends, but, they get along the most out of the sisters. But I'm really curious how the relationship between Archrose and Valarr is going to change now that they are betrothed to each other. Like, is that going to encourage them to make more effort with one another? Okay, she's chatting with him. Like, I'm fascinated. How is this going to go? Are they going to fight more? Are they going to be... Like, are they going to get along better? Now, in terms of personality for the girls, since they have aged up into a teen, so Meralda was gloomy, but she's also self-assured now. So, I suppose she's been raised to be very confident of her position in the household and just very confident of herself in general. But she is quite gloomy. I think she was quite aware of the situation between her parents growing up. And so she's, like, sensitive to emotions in that regard. She just tends to think of, serious, sad things, the gravity of adulthood, I suppose. But she's also very confident in herself. That has never made her feel insecure about her own self. Now, Archrose, she was a green fiend growing up, and I like to think that for her it means she's probably really obsessed with her family home and Ramong. And I think in terms of Candrica, it probably ties in with her wanting to make her mother proud and do what's best for the house by listening to her mother. And, she's grown up into a bit of a bookworm. So she's been trying to educate herself on how to be the perfect wife, I imagine, because Candrica, from a young age probably would have been, I don't know if riling up is the right term, but she would have been grooming them for that, right? Grooming her daughters for that. So that's Archrose. But I feel like when it comes to interacting with others, she can be quite mean and petty. And then we have Daphne. So Daphne was a kleptomaniac as a youngster, so a bit of a thief, which is interesting. A bit of a thief, but I always imagine her being the nicer of the two between her and Archrose. Meralda is quite diplomatic, but I feel like Archrose is kind of petty. Daphne is apparently a kleptomaniac, so maybe she was overly nice so that people don't notice her stealing things. She's also an art lover. She's also grown up to be a bit of an art lover, and I feel like with those two combined, like maybe she is a bit of an art thief. I like maybe she sees all these people and she befriends all this these royal folk and whatnot, nobles, and she goes to their places and she sees these beautiful pieces of witch culture, and maybe she wants to steal them. She wants to take them. She wants to own them. But it's not necessarily doing things the right way. So I don't know. I feel like we've been viewing Daphne and Archrose in a certain way, but maybe they're a little bit different from what we imagined for them. And so I suppose Lord Valen knows his children quite well. And maybe he feels as though it's a bit risky to have Daphne marry into the Rawen family and then ruin things, maybe, because of that tendency of hers. She's kind of wanting to, make the family wealthy through unscrupulous means. And be kind of independent in that way, I suppose. She takes initiative, but the wrong way, to help the family, whereas Archrose is focused on moving away from the family for the family's benefit. So it's kind of interesting. I feel like Daphne's harder to control because of that. Like, she has her own ideas, whereas Archrose is happy to follow along with what her parents tell her. So, yeah, I can see how Valen wouldn't want to ruin his relationship with the Rawens by letting Daphne loose in their house. Whereas Archrose probably is not going to do anything like that. But yeah, her arranged marriage, we need to arrange a marriage for her with someone, and I think Valen's also waiting for an offer to come from someone for her. Or maybe they're going to look around and see if they can match her up with anyone. So I think we'll get into that in this episode, but we'll have to see like who might be a potential match for Daphne. Candrica might have her kind of things, but at the same time, I feel like Valen is going to lay down the law on what he wants, expects, or what he feels is appropriate. Candrica might be aiming for a prince, but I don't think Valen's going to feel as though that's an appropriate match to make. Like, it's above their station almost. So, we'll see. My, it is a very early winter morning, and what are we doing in Sikaar? Well, we were talking about where we could arrange a marriage for Daphne, and after looking around a little bit, Valen, he, asked his wife, he didn't want to exclude her entirely because it is their daughters after all, and he knows how much Candrica has been living for literally this moment, arranging her own daughters' marriages. So he asked her for, her ideas and thoughts, and Candrica wanted, because Valen's actually, I think, friends with High Queen Leia. She was trying to, push Valen to go ahead and maybe do a match between Daphne and High Prince Vex, but Valen didn't want to do that. He felt as though it was way above their station, and he was not comfortable, proposing that to the Queen at all. So he told Candrica to, look around her contacts and see if they can find anyone, like a family that maybe has been inquiring about their daughters, because surely there would be. And so Candrica, we know, has been having an affair with King Yorick, High King Yorick. And obviously not everybody knows about the affair, but they still have that bit of friendship. They have that connection, right? And we also know that Queen Nala has been extremely interested in the fact that Candrica has triplet daughters and has been ever since they were born, pretty much. They were almost like, I think part of the reason why the Sikar royals have so many kids is because they were kind of competing with Candrica to a degree. So Candrica spoke to Yorick about the fact that her daughters are of age and, she's open to marriage proposals for Daphne. They've already arranged Archrose, and Yorick visited the household of his nobles to chat with them, and the sisters expressed interest in a marriage between their son, Lord Diamond Sister, and Miss Daphne Ramodust. Now, Diamond, and when that came back to Valen, when they got the official letter proposal from the family, I think Valen felt kind of comfortable with that because they're both a noble household. And if he can, he's already strengthened like the relationship within Ramong by having their house um, make a marriage alliance with the other noble house. Now he's happy to look to other kingdoms, but he still would prefer his daughters marry a noble family. And Diamond, in that regard, is a ideal kind of candidate for this. Now, if you guys remember, I mean, already they kind of look like a match because, he's got kind of scruffy hair and she's got scruffy hair. But he's actually an evil perfectionist. He's an evil perfectionist. So we were looking, I'm pretty sure, at the Siddeley house, like one of their daughters with Diamond when we were playing with Diamond, like with the sisters. But then we were like, oh, we feel so bad for whoever's going to marry him because he is an evil perfectionist, right? Well, Daphne, she's showing herself to be a bit of an art thief. And I feel like we kind of established, I think in the very beginning, that Sikar is actually a very wealthy kingdom. They don't have a lot of land, but they're very wealthy, and part of that maybe is because they just, tax people a lot and they get into all of this business deals where they probably cheat people out of their money a little bit. Not stuff that is typically talked about during the interaction with Sims during the series, but I feel like in the background that's how they get their wealth. They're selfish, like business people almost. And if that is kind of the go, then maybe Daphne's gonna fit right in. And I think coming here, when Valen's actually looking at Diamond, he's kind of seeing a similarity between these two in that they're both kind of hard to tame. And it might be a good match because they'll be able to keep each other in check. So, like, it feels as though he's found Daphne's match in Diamond. So he is going to talk with High Lady Alicent, which she's here. He's going to talk to High Lady Alicent, make his introductions because he doesn't know this family. He's going to be respectful. And he's going to see if maybe he can go ahead and propose a marriage between these families. But he's obviously going to try and befriend Alicent for this to be a thing. And oh look, it's Plain Snout. So let's knock on the door, and it's Underglow. We'll knock on the door, and then we'll discuss this a bit further with High Lady Alicent. And the others, we'll kind of let them go about. Maybe we should get you to knock on the door. So she's going to knock on the door, Lady Candrica, while her husband does the talking. And I'm hoping we can kind of go through and show you guys how the arranged marriage interactions work. Okay. You keep chatting with this lady. How can you help her out? I mean, you can help her out, but like, how would you help her out? And then let's see. To pursue their dream job. That's kind of interesting. I wonder how he's helping her out. Somehow. That's fine. Let's enthuse about interests. Get to know them a little bit. Give them a pep talk. I imagine he's going... Like, both of them are kind of getting to know each other at this point. And once we, do the arranged marriage interactions, I feel like that's going to be Valen accepting Diamond for Daphne and Alicent confirming that. But until that point, they're just kind of chatting with each other and getting to know their children a little bit more, and their families, I assume. Come on. Let's keep talking. Let's discuss some logic puzzles. And this would be a good relationship to have with Sikaar, because I'm pretty sure the Sisters are actually more favorable to the royal family than the Siddelys are. Because remember that one time when High Lord Ignatius got in trouble with the High King and Queen? So I don't know if that would be a match they would want to make. I feel like Candrica would be privy to the information of that gossip from her affair with High King Yorick. So if anything, they'd be looking to this family. And I don't even know if they have... Actually, I don't even know. I don't think the Sisters have a son. Do they? They might. I know they have... I don't remember how many children they have. But I do know they have 2 daughters. But in any case, they don't have any sons of age. So, okay. Let's talk about current weather. Come on. And then we're going to joke about politicians, why not? Discuss fitness techniques. The health of their children, I assume. Enthuse about fitness in general. We'll go ahead and enthuse about magic. Okay. And, okay, Daphne's doing well. She's, they're in the same room. They're kind of having supervised interaction. I don't know if she's managed to chat with Diamond at all so far, but don't they look like a match? I mean, they're both kind of scruffy a little bit, and they both have, apparently, questionable personalities. So, oh, are you talking with, Oh, he's talking with Diamond. Well, the kids were chatting with each other, which is good. But seriously, you need to befriend, High Lady Alicent, because she's the one you need to arrange things with. So let's keep talking to the High Lady just a little bit. Let's see. Discuss overcharge risks. I'm sorry, Alicent. Don't be yourself, please. Please don't be yourself. We just want to be friends. We want to be friends. So apparently, what I've heard of the mod is that when you arrange marriages, apparently it depends on their personalities and traits and such, whether it's a success or whether it's accepted. And I think having a high relationship with whoever you're arranging with helps with that just a little bit. So you want to take your time and do it well. But if it doesn't work out, then you can't propose that arrangement again for another, I think, 24 hours. But if they do reject, if Alicent does reject, then I'm just going to take that as a rejection altogether. They do not want their kids. They do not want, they've thought about it and they've decided against it in the end. So for whatever reason, they could not come to an agreement. But okay, why don't you take a bathroom break? Let her take a bathroom break. Oh, goodness. Actually, yeah, go down there, repario that, help them out, impress them with your magic. Just be like, hey, if Daphne marries into your family, then she's gonna bring with her the practical magic that she learnt at home. And that includes repairing things with magic. Very convenient. Let's go use that. Okay, now the kids are off to academy. That's fine, but the adults are definitely going to stay behind and continue chatting. Okay, now where did Alicent go? I hope she hasn't gone to bed or anything. No, she hasn't. Okay, discuss world peace. Let's go discuss world peace. Let's go chat it up with them. Oh, Lord Lysander. I don't know who this is, so we're just gonna advise against that. A random citizen. You're supposed to be making connections with other nobles and royals. Okay. He's gonna go on up. He'll chat a bit more. And then we shall see. So I'm wondering, like, if if they can reject or something. I'm not sure how exactly their relationships are calculated, but apparently there's some sort of score depending on their traits and stuff. So, I mean, Diamond's evil, you know? How is that going to work out? And then I'm also curious to see Daphne's reaction. Because Archrose, she didn't have very strong, like, she was unsure about how to feel for her engagement. I wonder if Daphne's going to be the same? This is interesting. What do you mean expanding family? I would assume expanding family just means, oh, she dislikes fitness. Whoopsies. I would imagine it just means, you know, who's going to marry in. As wonderful as it sounds, I'm not in a position where I feel comfortable doing that at the moment. I'm sorry, we weren't talking about having another baby. We were just talking about, you know, our children, Daphne eventually marrying in. So, I mean, we're having a casual conversation. Let's try and make it pleasant, and then we'll propose this marriage. And I suppose Candrica is curious to see what stage we've reached in this discussion, and she wants to see what conclusion we've come to. So, Candrica, you want to chat with Valen? Yeah, we'll give him a break, please. He's busy trying to do something here. Okay, things are pleasant. So, how you arrange the marriages, right? You go under friendly, and then you go to other sims, and then arrange marriage for. Arrange a marriage for someone in Lord Valen's family. So let's go check this out. Let's go check this out. No, don't enthuse about fitness. She's gonna become upset. Okay, here we go. He's gonna arrange the marriage, which in my mind is him kind of accepting the proposal / going further. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's try again. Sometimes you have to do the interaction a few times. Oh, unless, is she like not in the mood to talk about this just yet? Because the pop-up is supposed to, there's supposed to be a pop-up. They're having like a good thing, like a relationship boost. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna cheat Anita so she feels happy in case that is the issue. Let's discuss overcharge risks. Let's head back down, maybe. Actually, hold on a second. Let's add to group. Let's go somewhere a bit more spacious, because I don't think it's very spacious where we are. Let's sit down here in the living room. We'll go down to the sitting room, and then we'll discuss this a bit further. And then we can propose the marriage and see how things go from there. Forget about the trashy bathroom we have. Candrica, honey, please move. Thank you. Don't just stand there. Don't just stand there. If you want, feel free to join us downstairs. Lord Adrian is also there. So let's go on down. Okay, she's coming down as well. Excellent. And then we can talk about this more in depth. Okay. Well, all the adults are here, and that's the important thing. Let's see. Can the families come to any sort of agreement or not? Let's arrange marriage for... Let's see. Come on. What? Is it because the kids... Actually, I think I know what the problem might be. I think the kids are not here. Like, both the kids have to actually be here on their lot for it to occur. So why don't we wait until they come back, and then we can continue this. Okay, the kids are finally back from academy, so let's try that again. We're gonna go friendly, other sims, arrange marriage for, and also, High Lord Valen hadn't officially met Master Diamond, so now that he has, let's see if it helps, and the fact that, you know, everyone's here together on the same lot. So we'll ask to arrange marriage. There we go. So this is what is supposed to happen. I think they have to be like on the same lot as well, and you are supposed to know the sims. So arrange future marriage. Who should Lord Valen arrange a future marriage for? Miss Daphne Ramodust. There we go. Who should Miss Daphne be betrothed to? Master Diamond Sister. Now let's see if this betrothal is accepted. Oh, they do! See, look at that. They have both agreed, and it says here, Miss Daphne is now betrothed to Master Diamond and will be able to marry you when both reach adulthood. So they've just agreed. That is what has gone down. He is sad about the evilness now. He's sad about the evilness. But how does Daphne feel? See, Daphne is nearly betrothed, and she also feels unsure about having her future spouse decided for her. Now, the only thing we have left to do is the betrothal ceremony. So I imagine we will continue playing with these guys in the next episode, because we will have to do the betrothal ceremony for Daphne and Diamond. So there we go, guys. There we go. But, you know, the agreement has been made between the two families. They just haven't had the ceremony yet. So she barely knows Diamond, but they are betrothed now. And we have a connection between the Ramodust and the Sycidas. So there we go, guys. We had 2 betrothals in one episode, and then I suppose in the next episode we're gonna have a ceremony. And where has Diamond gone? Maybe he's just, is he tired? He must be tired. Yeah, he's headed off to sleep. He doesn't really care. He's exhausted. He's flippin' exhausted. But, oh, Candrica, she's like being mean to Archrose. I think Candrica is just feeling, look, she's not happy with Archrose. I think she's just feeling disappointed. Candrica is probably feeling disappointed because she had all these plans for her children. Like, she had 2 daughters, and she wanted to arrange at least one of them with High Prince Vex, and she was thinking it was going to be Archrose. But then her relationship with Valen kind of broke down recently. Valen found out about her affair somehow. And I think he's discussed it with the Rawens, but, you know, no one else. So he knows, and the Rawens are keeping it a secret, of course. They don't want to humiliate Valen and Candrica. But that happened just before the girls aged up. So Candrica's influence in the family kind of went down a little bit. And Valen kind of stepped up to the plate and decided that he was going to make the decision regarding who they marry. Or he was going to set, you know, some sort of guideline. And without wasting any time, he has, you know, gotten both Archrose and Daphne, like he's arranged their future marriages already. And I think Candrica is a little bit upset. I mean, she's having to go along with it. At least her daughters are married, but, or they're going to be in the future, but she was definitely aiming higher. I think she was aiming a lot higher, and she is a little bit bummed that, you know, this is all they've been able to do. Like, they could have done so much more, she's thinking. 3 daughters she had, 3 daughters. And they only managed to broker a deal with other noble families. So, oh well. That's the way the cookies crumbled, I suppose. Valen's very happy, I think, because, you know, he's not doing anything above his station. And I wonder if Archrose and Daphne are going to bond a bit more because now they're both betrothed and, you know, at the same time they can talk about it. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. But I think we can wrap up here. When we come back in the next episode, Daphne is going to be having her betrothal ceremony back home. And then we'll see where things go from there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.